Browns playing some tough football right now. They go on the road to face the Philadelphia Eagles. Kevin Stefanski earlier this week said he's not going to make any changes at quarterback. He will still continue to call the plays, and they don't foresee any major changes in philosophy and playbook when it comes to this game. So my question to you is, how much longer can Kevin Stefanski afford to say that in the eyes of taking these L's and looking so bad offensively? Well, we talked about it on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show earlier today, and Tyvis Powell had a very interesting point about what Kevin Stefanski has to watch out for if he continues to trot out the same type quarterback and then not have any changes. What will happen to the 52 or 53 man roster?
I mean, I think that at some point you have to at least be honest with yourself. Yeah. So I think the thought comes into your mind. Obviously, you want it to work really bad, and you're going to do everything you can to make that situation work. But, you still owe it to 52 other guys in that locker room, to put the best foot forward. So at some point, I think, if he continues to play bad, then, the thought will come into his head, and he will have no choice but to think about those things. And as far as the social media thing goes with Deshaun, listen, I'm 30 years old. I'm not that far removed, okay? Mm-hmm. And I've been in the locker room multiple times. And you know what everybody do as soon as they get to their locker room?
Use their phone.
They go just like this. So with that being said, and it's not like he doesn't post on social media, so He sees stuff. And on top of that, when it's stuff like that, people tend to send you text messages anyways, like, hey, they talking crazy about you, stuff like that. So I do think that he does see it. I think that every athlete is always told to say you don't pay attention to social media, but you do.
And that was a episode earlier today on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Tyvis Powell, me and Adam the Bull talking about that point he was making afterwards was talking about Deshaun Watson came out and said he's not on social media. He doesn't post. And they asked, did we believe that, players, especially at that high profile position, the quarterback, do they believe that they don't see what's going on in social media? And it's hard. Like when you talk about it, you got people that run your social media accounts, but it's human nature. Like, and I think sometimes a lot of people, this is why I don't want to get too far into it. But look, man, it's a different generation. And sometimes we get old and, people don't understand certain things. Like, there was a generation here that, people that are my age that grew up when there was no cell phones. They grew up with answering machines and grew up with the fact that if you went home, you just weren't talking to nobody. We grew up with no internet. We grew up with certain things like, TV went off at like midnight or 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, they sang the national anthem and it was just done. So nowadays, people, especially guys that are younger, they live off this. Like, come on, bro. This is their life. They grew up with internet. They grew up with cell phones. Now it's almost impossible to take a person's cell phone. You can't take a kid's cell phone in school. They be getting mad trying to fight. Yeah, think about it. If you steal somebody's cell phone and won't give it back, you going to jail. Like, there's all kind of things inside your cell phone. There's personal videos. There's personal phone numbers. There's your identification. Think about it. You got your credit card saved on here. You got your social security information. All of that stuff is saved on your cell phone. So it's different. It's a different generation. And people that are going to be on Instagram, that's how they live. That's how they express themselves. I think sometimes as consumers, we start to look for scapegoats. Like we want to look for a reason why a person ain't playing good. And the lowest common denominator, easiest same thing to say is they're not concentrating. No, maybe they're just not good. Let's just call it. Maybe physically they got beat. That's just what happened, right? So, but that's a little bit off the subject. The subject is how much longer can the Cleveland Browns continue to not make any changes if they continue to lose? And that answer, and I'm gonna steal this. And I told him when I talked to him, I told Quincy Carey I was going to steal this. He said they got to make decisions and changes while they have the ability to do it themselves and before they are forced to make changes. And I said, oh, that was kind of deep. That was kind of deep. See, it's a difference between making changes on your own accord and making changes when you have to make changes. Everybody know it's not a written place somewhere that says, what is that? What is that time period? Where's the line of demarcation with that? Everybody just knows when you get there. Case in point, they come out here and they look like that again. They get smoked by the Eagles. You go 0-4 against the entire NFC East, and you have not even reached a division game. That is called, you're going to have to be forced to make that choice. Because here's the thing, Tyvis says something. The longer you do not abide by the rules and regulations of doing what's best for 52 or 53 men in that locker room, it's going to be a problem. Because what's going to happen is pretty soon, it's different from taking them L's against Philadelphia and New York Giants and the Cowboys and the Commanders. But when you start taking them L's to the Bengals, to the Ravens, and to the Steelers, it's different. It's a different level of vitriol that comes with that. Different level of angst that comes with that. Because those are, you don't never want to lose to your brother. You don't ever want to lose to your cousins. You don't want to never lose to the people that you know, because they're going to talk that talk, especially you play them twice a year. And the fans is going to be very sensitive to that factor too. These are division games, and they mean more because there's a close rivalry, there's a close geographical history, and there's a close history period of those games played against each other. So, you know, there has to be something to give. You can't continue to lose football games and not change the direction of what the offense is, or not change who's calling the plays, or not change the quarterback, or not change something about it. Because what happens is pretty soon, if you let it that grace period that we've given you as two-time coach of the year, eventually that wears off. And all we know of you is the fact. See, that's the thing about NFL games. We play so few of them, and it's a year-round communication about the NFL and what's going on and everything, that the games mean so much more in season. Every single game is so impactful. So even if you did win 2 Coach of the Years, the games and what's going on today trumps everything that you had before. Because just like me, there's a lot of people that are in the moment and in where they need to be at, and locked in on the fierce urgency of what are you doing right now, and are you getting better or are you getting worse? And you don't want them L's to kind of pile up on you. You 1-5, don't look good. Now you're 1-6 and don't look good. 1-7, you don't look good. And now, whether y'all want to say y'all heard it or not, you know who will hear it? The owner. Because his people will tell him. Because, by the way, good luck trying to fight. Mayor Bibb was on the show today. Good luck trying to fight. Good luck trying to fight and doing what we need to talk about. Good luck trying to get you a stadium when you wanted something. People are a little less receptive when you're taking L's and you're asking for money and you're a billionaire. Trust me, something will give.